How do you increase your Medium earnings? This is the question every single aspiring writer who uses the website medium.com really wants to know. To be honest, everyone wants to know. I give writing tips. I talk about how to formulate blog posts, but people really want to know, where's the money, Io? Show me the money. How do I get my Medium earnings up? So I'm going to give you the blunt, no BS, unfiltered truth about how you can increase your Medium earnings, how you can make money on medium.com, how you can build a platform, the type of platform that you really need to do things like be able to quit your job. So I'm going to talk about all of those things today. I'm going to give you some quick tips, talk about how the Medium Partner Program works and how to get your earnings up. But before I do that, make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so that you can get every single video that I will be putting out in the future that's going to be teaching you everything I know about blogging. I'm just going to come out and say it. There is nobody on YouTube that is more qualified to teach you how to increase your Medium earnings than me. Nobody. I don't say this because I think I'm better than anyone else. I don't say this because, I think I have some magical answers, but I've looked at everyone who is online talking about success on Medium, and if we're using Medium earnings as a success standpoint, none of them are more successful than me. I'm not the type to really brag about how much I earn, but I make a lot of money on Medium, all right? So I know what I'm doing, and I know how to teach you, but there's going to be no amount of teaching that can replace the work. So let me dive into how to actually make money on Medium, how the gist of how the program works. Then we'll get into some tips as to how you can increase your earnings. Okay. I'm gonna give you a basic, high-level overview of how the Medium Partner Program works, so that you know enough kind of to get started. So there's a lot of people out there where they'll do all these crazy data-driven articles where they're like comparing, what's my read ratio to claps, to views, to stats, and blah, 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 blah. You don't need to know the intricacies of all that to figure out the basics. So here are the basics of how the partner program works. The first thing is Medium has readers who pay $5 a month to become members of medium.com. This gives them access to exclusive content behind a paywall. Now, if you are a writer on medium.com, you can be eligible to put your content behind said paywall and get paid by getting read time from people who read articles on Medium and who are also members. One question I get asked a lot is, Io, do I have to become a Medium member in order to make money on Medium? Absolutely not. But just pay the $5 a month. Don't be a weirdo. Because if you don't even take the time to invest in $5 a month on Medium, you are going to create some weird negative subconscious karma to where if you're not even willing to support the platform, you're not really going to expect to be successful on it. So don't be that weird person who, I'm trying to make 10 grand a month on Medium, but I won't pay $5 a month. Like, don't be that person, okay? The way that the earnings get divided up from a broad level is you get a portion of that $5 membership depending on how much that person reads your work in comparison to how much they read in general. So let's take there's two different audience members, right? So let's say reader number one. Reader number one is just kind of obsessed with Medium. They go on Medium every day and they read a bunch of articles from tons of different authors, right? Then there is reader number two. Reader number two, they hop on Medium occasionally, they're a member, but they have a handful of writers that they really like to read, right? So if you're one of the writers who fits into that readers camp, you're going to get more of their earnings than someone who reads widely. So what is it that you're getting out of that explanation? What you're getting out of it is that, the more that you become sort of a household name, the more that people come to Medium kind of specifically to read your stuff, the more that you build a brand around your writing to where people click on your name more than anyone else's, the more kind of a share of their earnings you're going to get. So you want to focus on, building your unique voice. Take a look at some of my other videos where I talk about blogging tips. build your unique voice, build your unique brand, put in the work, and then you'll be able to get a higher share of their earnings. But that's the basic gist of how it works. You get paid from Medium members. Let's say, for example, you have an article that blows up and kind of gets a lot of outside distribution, which does happen, but the people who are reading your articles aren't Medium members. Well, then you're not going to get paid from that. Now, there's one exception to where if someone reads one of your articles and they're not a paying member, but they sign up 30 days within reading that post, then you get a little bit of credit for them reading. So we could dive deep into all the intricacies of Medium, and I do a lot of that in my premium flagship course, which you can check out below. But for the purposes of this video, that's the basic understanding of how the partner program works and how you can increase your Medium earnings. And now we're going to dive into some more specific tips and insights that will help you increase your income. Tip number one, I am not going to lie. Based on my experience, you are going to have to do a heavy volume of articles in order to increase your Medium earnings. You are going to have to write, ideally 3 to 5 articles per week if you want to earn a lot. This month my earnings recently dipped a little bit, so I went on a mad tear, and I've been writing like 1 or 2 articles a day, going a little bit crazy. And there's an argument to be said for Medium being incentivized for you to write a little bit quicker and maybe not write the greatest American novels in each single blog post that you write. But from my perspective, I've always been a prolific writer. I've always been in that 3 to 5 article per week range just because I love to write. But that is kind of the frequency you're going to have to write with if you want to get your Medium earnings to a level where they're above average. Another thing, I'll never lie to you and pretend that Medium is just this gold mine where a bunch of people are earning money. Most people are not earning a lot of money, and that is because they don't put in the volume of articles for a consistent enough time in order to see those results. So you're going to have to do 3 to 5 articles a week. You're going to have to work on the things I talk about in this channel, like writing persuasive headlines, learning how to structure your articles and essays to make them readable from the top down, iterating, reverse engineering, looking at other writers on Medium who are successful, and then reverse engineering some of those steps into your own articles, things like that. So you're going to have to hit a certain volume level. And when you're in the beginning, you are definitely going to face a uphill battle when you are first trying to get your profile popping, so to speak. You don't have any followers, so it's really hard to kind of get out of that inertia, which is why I suggest you use publications. I will link to my publications video here. But aside from that, you're not very into the mind of the curators. I'll link to that. I'll link to a bunch of different videos, but you're not top of mind for the curators who select articles for additional promotion. When you have such a low follower count to begin with, you're just not going to get as much mileage and reach as someone like me who has, damn near 70,000 followers. And I've said this many times before, I got started at a point where Medium was less saturated than it is right now. So you are going to face increased competition, and you are going to get kind of a lower ROI for your articles than someone would have in the past. So in my first month on Medium, I made something like $225 in that month. But that was because there was very little competition. A lot of people were just experimenting with the partner program. And I had already been on Medium for about 2 years prior to the program starting. And I already had about 10,000 followers ready to go when that started. But think about it this way. If you would have got started back then, you'd be successful now. If you wait, because Medium is saturated, it's only going to get more competitive, and then you're not going to have the writing skills to apply to when the next trend pops up, to when the next platform pops up. I've said this in other videos. I started blogging when blogging was pronounced dead, so never worry about saturation. And actually, we'll dive into this next tip in terms of your attitude when it comes to Medium, so that you can really not only just increase your Medium earnings, but have a successful career as a writer, period. Insight number 2, or something to think about, is, regardless of how competitive Medium is, trust me, I've been around the block 9 million times. Medium is still, even as competitive as it is right now, it's still your number one opportunity to make money as a writer. Consider that. I've tried and done all of the other business models. I've written books. It takes a long time. I've coached other people. If you don't have the confidence to write articles, do you really have the confidence to sit down with someone once per week, an hour each session, get that person on the phone, sell them? Come on now. Creating an online course, much more elaborate than writing a blog post or a series of blog posts. Affiliate marketing, SEO, social media, I've done all of these things. Go and try to start a WordPress blog, learn SEO, write a bunch of guest posts, create a back-end offer, and see if your chances of quitting are higher doing that or trying to get started on Medium. So in terms of the amount of views you can get on your articles to even send to your email list, Medium is still a better bet than a WordPress blog. And in terms of that straight line path to monetization, Medium is still your best bet. What you have to understand is most people don't make any money blogging, period. This is the most straightforward opportunity that you can find. I was kind of like waiting around in limbo a little bit. I was making probably about $1,000 a month from my combined income streams with my books, and I was doing coaching. Some months maybe it'd be $2-3 grand, but it was never really enough to help me quit my job. And then Medium Partner Program came along, and it was the reason I was able to quit my job and build the type of income I'm doing now. So it's still the best opportunity. So focus on that, and then I'll give you one last tip, or one kind of pattern or timeline that I've seen really work well for a lot of writers. When it comes to kind of the sweet spot of a time period to where I've seen people take off in terms of their earnings after being really consistent, it's usually about a solid year. So I had a writer come talk to me. She wrote this article about how much she had earned for the year, and I think her first year she had maybe earned like a couple $1,000s, right? And someone commented on her article and said, if you divide your total earnings by the number of articles you wrote, you really didn't make that much money. Blah, blah, blah. Loser talk, right? The very next month, first month of the year, January, she made $8,000. So after a year of solid work, she made more money in 1 month than she did in the entire previous year. I've seen other examples of this. Colleague of mine, Matt Lillywhite, he has been active on Medium for about a year or a little over. And I saw him recently tweet that he's kind of made it to make a full-time living. My friend Sean Kernan, he's been on Medium for he's coming up on a year. And he's doing really well. He had some experience prior to going on Medium, which really helped him a lot. But it usually takes about a solid year. So if you want to kind of see the light or get close to the promised land, it's going to take about 3 to 5 articles a week for about a solid year before you can really look and get a gauge of your results. And of course, you will earn some money along the way. If you write 3 to 5 articles per week, if you use the techniques that I teach on my channel, instead of randomly blogging about your cat or your trip to West Virginia with your cousin, you will be successful and you will have some Medium earnings. If you get yourself into publications, if you are studying, participating on the platform, following people, clapping for articles, leaving thoughtful comments, connecting with writers on and offline, all those good things. If you do that for a year, you will see significant increases in your earnings. And even for me, I didn't have a solid enough month to where I felt comfortable quitting my job until I had been on the partner program for 19 months straight. And I had been on Medium for 2 years before that 19-month streak that it took for me to be successful and earn enough money on Medium to be able to quit my job. So I'm not the person to come to for complaints. I'm not the person's video for you to comment telling me that you've been on Medium for a month and you're disappointed with your earnings. I'm not even the person for you to come on my channel and tell me you've been at it for a year and you've or you're disappointed with your earnings, excuse me. I wrote for multiple years with making little to no money just to learn the skills, just to get good enough to be in a position to make money. So consider all of these things, stay the course, and you will eventually be able to have the type of medium earnings that will make you happy. Okay, check out some important links in the description below. Link number 1, you're going to see a free 5-day medium course where I'll teach you the ins and outs of how to be successful on the platform. Click the link below, enter your email, and you can get access to that. Also, for those of you who are just willing and ready to dive right into the meat and potatoes of how to be successful on the platform, you can check out my premium flagship online course that teaches you everything I know, goes into more depth than what I'm sharing here now, and gives you really the blueprint for how I personally made a full-time living writing using the website medium.com. Okay, the last thing I want you to do is make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the little notification bell so you can get brand new videos when they come out. Smash that like button. Leave a comment. Leave your 2 cents. Let me know what video ideas you want me to come up with next. There'll be some videos popping up in front of your face right now. Make sure to check those out. And I'll see you on the next video.